Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be sharing my top 5 eyeshadow palettes for fall. I've been wanting to do this video for a week or two, but I wanted to kind of think about my choices before I made it, and I feel like these 5 truly are, in my collection, the ones that I think of the most when I think of fall makeup. Now, I'm not saying you need these palettes by any means. I'm just telling you the 5 palettes that when I go into my drawer and I'm looking for a fall-ish palette, these are the 5 that I always go to. If you're new here, my name is Blair. I'm so happy you clicked on this video. I do all kinds of makeup content, both drugstore and high-end here on my channel. I hope you'll subscribe. I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I am posting every day in October for you guys. So I hope you'll stick around, and let's go ahead and get into my top 5 eyeshadow palettes for fall. Let's start with the palette that I have on my eyes today. This palette is expensive, and I hesitated on whether I should put it in this video or not, but these aren't the palettes I'm telling you to go out and buy. I'm just telling you of all the palettes that I own. These are the 5 that I reach for, and they just remind me of fall when I look at them. And the first one is the Natasha Denona Biba palette. I've had mine for a few years. I want to say I bought this during a Sephora sale a few years ago, and I will be honest, I don't use this palette a whole lot, and I'm not sure why, other than I tend to not use my most expensive makeup that much. I know that's silly, but that's really the only reason I can give you as to why I don't use this, because I love the colors in here. Every single time I wear this palette, I love how it turns out. I don't think I've ever used this and not loved my eyeshadow. Like today, I did not plan this look at all. I just sat down and I did film it. I can link that video for you if you haven't seen it, but I sat down and filmed this, and I love how this turned out. It is so pretty. And not only is this a good fall palette, but this is just a great neutral eyeshadow palette. Now, do you need this particular one? No. I know it's expensive, but if you're wanting to splurge on a palette, and I know the Sephora sale should be coming up here in the next month or so, I do think this is a gorgeous palette if you love neutrals. Honestly, a lot of these colors, could you get them in another palette? Yes, but there's just something sometimes about using a bougie eyeshadow palette, you know what I mean? And this one is so good. It's my most expensive in my collection by far, but the colors in here just remind me of fall, and it's a very versatile palette. You get some really light, bright shimmers in here, but you also get some darker matte colors, and you have some really dark, smokier shades too. So I feel like you could do a lot of things with this palette. You could do something very easy and everyday, and then you could do something very smoky and dramatic if you wanted to. So I love mine, and it definitely reminds me of fall, so I wanted to mention it in this video. The next palette I actually used here on my channel in my first fall makeup look of this year, and it's the Anastasia Soft Glam palette. I know this may be a really obvious choice for a lot of people, but I mean, look at the colors in here. Every time when fall comes around every year, I always immediately think, ooh, I want to use my Soft Glam palette. Like, these colors are just fall. You get the browns, you get those red, orangey colors, you get a really good mix of mattes and shimmers in here, and this formula from Anastasia is phenomenal. I personally think I have a few Anastasia palettes, but I have to say I think Soft Glam is my favorite, just because you get everything you need in here. You get a really good black, you get a really good dark brown, you get some really pretty shimmers, and you get some good transitional mid-tone shades. I actually got my Soft Glam palette in a bundle with the Modern Renaissance palette. If you guys remember, a year or two ago, Anastasia did a bundle. It was in a really pretty glittery package, and you got Soft Glam and Modern Renaissance together, and that's when I got this palette. So I didn't have this like back when it first came out and it was like the palette. It's been in the last few years that I purchased one, and I have to say I really love it. I think it's totally worth the hype. I think it's a really good staple palette for everyone. You could do, again, something really dramatic with this or something more subdued. You could do all matte. You could do a lot of shimmer. You have a good black and a good brown, always essential for a liner or just smoking out your outer corner of your eye. I love this palette, so I wanted to definitely mention that in my top 5. Okay, palette number 3. You guys, this palette, I know I've used it on my channel before. I need to use it again because every time I open this palette, the colors in here are my favorite colors no matter what time of year it is, but in particular fall. The Naked Honey palette, I mean, look at these colors. I don't even know what to say. These are my favorite colors to wear, like in clothing, and my favorite colors just in general, but they are such warm, kind of remind me of leaves turning in the fall. That's what I think of when I see this palette. It is so I don't know how else to say other than to say it's so pretty, but this palette is 10 out of 10, one of my favorites in my collection, not just for fall, just all the time, because the colors are stunning. So stunning. If you love warm eyeshadows and you like the caramel, golden, yellow tones, you will love this palette. This is my only full-size Urban Decay palette that I have. I have 2 of the mini Naked palettes, but I don't have any of the large size ones, just this one. But this is the only one that is out at this time that I need, because these colors are everything. I don't know what else to say other than I love this, and this is such a fall palette. Okay, the next palette is also one of my favorites. I've used this a few times on my channel. I actually have multiple of these palettes just in different color stories, but the Dior Backstage eye palette in warm neutrals. So these palettes, they're kind of tiny. They're in that really pretty Dior Backstage packaging, but what I love, or one of the things I love, is you actually get an eye primer in here over in the corner, and it's just kind of a basic eye primer. It kind of evens out your eyelid, and it's just a really good base for these shadows. But again, you can tell what colors I like in general, but especially in the fall, I like these warm orangey colors and these deep browns and golds. This is definitely more of an orangey, smoky kind of fall palette, whereas like the Honey palette is more of that golden yellow tone. So it depends on what colors you like for yourself, but this one is beautiful from Dior. This is just a really good everyday neutral palette in general, not just for fall. I also have the Cool Neutrals from Dior. It's more purpley. I love that one too. That one just reminds me more of spring than fall. Something about these colors just scream fall to me. I love it. These are great. You get 9 colors, well actually 8 eyeshadows and the primer in here. And Dior, something about Dior packaging just really speaks to me. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but I don't know. I love this little palette and highly recommend it. And palette number 5 is pretty new. This may actually be my newest palette of these 5, and I've talked about how much I love it so many times, but I knew this one had to be in the top 5. It's the Sigma Ambiance palette. This one came out earlier this year, and this was a true love at first sight palette. When I saw this on Instagram, when I saw the picture of this, I knew, okay, as soon as that's available, I'm ordering it, because the colors. You guys, Very similar, I would say, to Soft Glam, but different at the same time. Soft Glam has a little more of an orangey tone to it. A lot of the shades have that orange, pumpkin-y kind of undertone, whereas this one has more of a bronze and even some reddish undertones in here. This is such a beautiful palette, you guys. Such a beautiful palette. And not only is it beautiful, but these shadows are phenomenal. Phenomenal. I think this palette's $49 and totally worth it in my opinion. I love every single shade in here. Every single shade. I can't say enough good things about this. This is actually my first Sigma palette that I've had, and I'm so impressed. I love this formula, love all of these colors. One other really nice thing about this palette from Sigma is you get the double-ended brush from Sigma as well that comes with it. So it has the E38 diffused crease on this side and then the E54 sweeper brush on this side, which these brushes are also really nice. They're not, you know, sometimes eyeshadow palettes that come with brushes, sometimes the brushes aren't the best quality. This is a true Sigma brush, great quality, and you can do so much with this because it's double-ended. So that's another great thing about this palette. The Urban Decay Naked Honey palette comes with a brush as well, but the Sigma brushes to me are better quality. Sigma in general is better quality in terms of the brushes. So I did want to mention that. I cannot say enough good things about this palette. Again, never disappointed with this one. It blends beautifully. The shimmers in here are so gorgeous. You will love this palette, I guarantee you. So number 5 goes to Sigma Ambiance. And that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick video just sharing my top 5 favorite palettes with you for fall. If you watch a lot of my videos, these were probably not a huge surprise for you. Fall is my favorite season, and I'm always inspired by makeup, but in the fall, something about the season, the colors, the comfort, the warmth, I don't know, something about it I just love so much. And these 5 scream fall to me. So I will list them below and link them for you if you're interested in them. Thank you for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I hope you'll subscribe. I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but I am posting once a day in the month of October. So I hope you guys are enjoying all the videos. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at simply.blair and TikTok simply.blair01. I'll see you in my next video. Remember, simply be you. Bye. Sunday